Thank you, Dan. Welcome, everyone. 6 minutes after the hour of 6 a.m. It is Thursday, June 13th, 2019, 58 degrees outside. Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor in the house. Shaman Tom and half man, half amazing in Vancouver, British Columbia, making this Montana's only international talk show. Thank you very much. And we are making radio great again.
Well, at least within direct line or line of sight.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, two American hockey teams went at it last night, Shane. No Canadians involved.
No Blues this morning in St. Louis.
No Blues, yeah. They, I remember going to Blues games way back when. I lived near St. Louis back in
Did you really? Oh.
Yeah, I was born in Illinois, about 60 miles from St. Louis. So we went to the Cardinal games and the whatever professional sports they had over there. Football Cardinals were there before they moved to Arizona, and the Blues were there. But yeah,
regrettably, I believe that Vancouver now is the sole team never to have won the Stanley Cup.
Really, Vancouver even have a team?
Thank you. I really appreciate that. That's probably appropriate.
They were. What were they? The Canucks.
The Canucks. Yeah, that's correct. The Canucks.
Well, I know a little, I guess.
and they have a big orca as their
orca. They're a whale of a team, huh?
Yeah. Not even a whale; it's a killer whale.
Killer whale of a team. All right.
That hasn't influenced anything either, but. I see your Golden Warriors are less their key player. I think they're going down, baby.
You think they're going down tonight? I don't know, man. Yeah.
They're on the way to the White House.
Yeah, I don't know, boy. That's a killer for Kevin, being a free agent and all. Probably won't play next year at all with that Achilles. That's a killer, man. That's a jump tendon you need, man.
Oh, it's like they said, he would be finally eligible for free agency.
Yeah,
which is probably for him like $100 million contract. Right?
Oh, it'll be at least. Yeah. He could pick his team.
Oh, God,
much.
Yeah.
Well,
it's called bringing home the bacon.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Tonight's the night, or at least tonight's the night. Will they live another day? And if they do, they've got to go back to Vancouver, which is a tough place to win. Although they have done it, but it's
I'd say we should bet a thin silver dime, but they don't make them anymore.
Yeah.
And can't bet a penny because they don't make those anymore. Yeah. Well, we don't.
Mm-hmm. They're not going back to Vancouver. Where are they going back to? They're going back to.
No, I know. It's that between you and me.
I know. Yeah, I know. Well, we'll see when you get down here in January. We'll.
Well, I couldn't afford a 10-cent U.S. bet. That's 13-cent Canadian. I have pennies to pay you.
I was going to say, yeah, we'd have to eat at McDonald's if you have to buy.
Oh, you're so kind.
Have to get a Happy Meal.
Yeah, that's what would be required, a Happy Meal. You're getting, but you'd buy me one of those kid boxes.
I would, yeah. I'd get you one of the kid boxes with the toy in it and everything.
With the toy, yeah.
I'd get the Star Wars toy in there. You'd be good. Yeah. That'd be good for you. Yeah.
That'd be good for me, yeah. A challenge. It'd be a challenge.
Yeah, you could put that on your screen, and when
future shows. Have it right here up on my windowsill. Think of you every day while I'm staring at you.
There you go.
That's an oxymoron, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Let's take a quick look at our Gallatin Valley weather. 77 is going to be our high today. 52 will be the overnight low. Isolated thunderstorms around the area, but only a 25 to 28% chance of rain happening, and most of it will be in the afternoon, probably on your commute home. So they'll just be isolated around the area, so you may or may not get some rain. 76 tomorrow, 48 will be the high on Friday, partly cloudy. The rain's even less than 25%, so should be pretty good. And Saturday, 74 and mostly sunny. Again, a very small 15% chance of thunderstorms around the noon hour or whatever, somewhere in there. And then on Sunday, 73 and 49 respectively. PM thunderstorms be in the afternoon, about a About a 50% chance of afternoon thunderstorms in the area. And 74 on Monday. Thunderstorms continue, but mostly in the evening. And on Tuesday, 72 will be the high, 48 the low. Storms continue, but again, it's only about a 30% chance. So you should dodge them probably for the next few days. So temperatures around the area right now, Livingston is 62 degrees over in Livingston, 59 in Manhattan, it's 61 in Three Forks. It's 56 in Gallatin Gateway. It's 53 in Ennis, 48 in Big Sky, and at the airport in Belgrade, it is 57 degrees and partly cloudy there. And we're right at 58 degrees here at 11 minutes after the hour of 6 a.m. And that is your weather for the morning.
Wow. May or may not, huh?
May or may not. May or may not rain on you.
I think that was the first answer I got from a girl when I asked her out.
Is that maybe not?
I may or may not want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Well, there you go. That's about, that's classic weather.
I'm guessing that's not the one that's baking you pies.
Yeah. 50 years ago. Yeah.
All right, on this day in history, 1900, China's Boxer Rebellion against foreigners and Chinese Christians erupted. The Boxer Rebellion. What a time that was in history. Yeah.
Well, it's sort of relevant, especially to today, because of what's going on with Hong Kong.
Yeah.
So basically, a bunch of Chinese on the 2nd of November, 1899, till the 7th of September, 1901. The days are important because this is at the turn of the century and the millennium.
And the Christmas season for Christians as well.
And Christians, yes, that's right. And it's the Yehin Tuan, or anti-imperialist, anti-foreign, anti-Christian sect of people in China. 400,000 of them actually got sort of upset and decided to march towards Peking. Long story short, with reinforcements after 55-day siege, the 8 countries that were basically embassies to the Empress Dowager there were relieved, and it's found out that the coalition with Prince King Queen had set up this and was properly beheaded. Now, that's all context. What's really important for everyone to hear is in September 1901, there was a resolution, and war reparations were decided of 450 million taels of silver, which at that time was quite a bit of money, and took the government of China 38 years to pay. 10 billion in today's money, and principally to England. And this is when England got the 99-year lease on Hong Kong and the surrounding areas. And Portugal got, oh my gosh, the island, where the casinos are? Mm-hmm. I can't think of it.
Morocco?
Anyway, Morocco is so bad. On to Miranda. Miranda versus Arizona.
Yeah. 1966, Supreme Court ruled in Miranda versus Arizona, the criminal suspects must be informed of their constitutional rights prior to questioning by police. And one of the little-known trivia facts about this is the lawyer who came up with this was a public defender.
That's right. An unknown nobody, not from a big law firm.
Yep, just
a public defender doing his job.
Schmuck off the street.
Yeah, it's sort of amazing, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's so many, in so many regards. There are moments in history in the United States where things change everything. It's like abortion and the 1970 Roe versus Wade case. So yeah, and we've talked about several others like slavery and so forth, but this one was big because this changed the whole defensive strategy of defending a murderer, a bank robber, a drug person, and a mobster. It actually gave them more protection, and which it made it even more difficult to have a case beyond a reasonable doubt. And
Yeah,
we should have
sort of handcuff the police a little bit that they weren't able to interrogate people without an attorney being present and things like that. But
or search without a warrant. Have cause. But this was part of the Warren Court, and he was a famous Chief Justice Warren, it's loaded with new members because of the shift 8 years between Truman and FDR resulted in nobody really being picked during Eisenhower, and then some being picked with Kennedy and Johnson and being reelected Johnson. So the court was pretty liberal, and Warren ended up being a Supreme Court justice that was a conservative and ended up being a liberal.
Yeah.
I mean, he was from California. Mm-hmm. He was the governor of California.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, also, one thing we forgot yesterday, Shane, and I'm not sure why we missed it. It may have been in the notes up at the top, but President Reagan asked Gorbachev to tear down the wall yesterday in separating Berlin and East and West Berlin. And we should have mentioned that, and we apologize that we didn't mention that yesterday it's probably the most important thing on that date.
No question about it. Yeah, back in 1988, 89, 88, 89, yeah.
Well, that was when we were having the cold wave coming through here, 80 below and whatever. I remember my wife and I went back to Illinois for that. It was 20, 30 below back there. And I think it was something like 80 below in parts of Montana up here during that time. So pretty interesting.
Wow. You had to bring that up before global warming?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Well, didn't want anybody to be confused,
Exactly.
1971, on this date, the New York Times began publishing the Pentagon Papers, a secret study of America's involvement in Vietnam. The Pentagon Papers. Ooh.
Wow.
Those were the days, huh?
It's so remarkable. Well, again, a major issue that obviously led to the Nixon resignation, because it was because of the Pentagon Papers, he set up what were called the plumbers from the White House to go into the office of the gentleman who gave up the papers and a psychologist, right?
Yeah.
That was really their first break-in before Watergate. So, anyway, this went to the Supreme Court because the Supreme Court determined that if a news agency got information from someone that had been stolen, they weren't liable.
All right. There you are. Right. Stolen papers. All right, we got to take care of the farmers. Somebody hit this button real easy this morning so that we get the farmers and ranchers in there because we missed them yesterday somehow. So want to make sure we get the ag report in for the ranchers, farmers, truck drivers, cab drivers, all those folks, and some other important words. So let's try pushing it one time and see what happens. 25 minutes after the hour of 6 a.m., it's Thursday, June 13, 2019, 59 degrees. And welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. And Shane, I got to tell you, we are at, of our shows, 936 downloads of our shows.
That's a huge jump.
That was a huge jump. Not sure what happened, but we were 8-something, and a bunch of people came over and took a look, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, we're at 936 downloads of 165 episodes, so we thank you very much. And if that rate continues, we'll have 1,000 by the end of this month. So we really appreciate the support of the listeners out there. Thank you for that very much. And, hey, our poll yesterday was quite interesting.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to deviate a little bit from let's continue on with on this day, and then we can go on with that. 1981, on this date, a teenager fired 6 blank shots at Queen Elizabeth II during a parade in London. 6 blanks, yeah, that'll get it done.
Yeah, well, she was during the Trooping of the Colors, which is a tradition that goes back several centuries. And it's basically a recognition of all the military, and not so much the military, but it's a recognition of all the regiments. So they all come out in front of of the palace and on the grounds there. And she comes out with her honorary guard on her mount. In this case, it was Burmese, and I'm only telling you this because Burmese was a gift from the RCMP, Royal Canadian Mounted Police Service Horse, and a mare. And it was given to the Queen by us Canadians in 1969, and she rode her 18 consecutive years to 1986, which is pretty cool. Anyway, back to the story. A 17-year-old assailant, Marcus Sargenet, was sentenced to 5 years in prison for firing 6 shots that were determined to be blanks. And the remarkable thing is they have it on video, and how composed she was on her mount Burmese without even missing a beat. She continued reviewing the guard. But there is one thing. A month later in October, the Queen was subject of another attack, and this time in Dunedin, New Zealand. And in 2018, the New Zealand Security Intelligence Services revealed that a 17-year-old Christopher John Lewis fired a shot with a .22 rifle from the 5th floor of a building overlooking an upgrade she was in, but missed. So she's almost taken one.
She must not have been a Marine like Oswald, huh?
Yeah, he wasn't a master. Yeah, he wasn't a sniper. He was just a kid. Yeah.
1983, U.S. space probe Pioneer 10 became the first spacecraft to leave the solar system as it crossed the orbit of Neptune. And since Pluto's no longer a planet, I guess that's the end of the solar system. So there you are.
Rock.
Yeah.
Launched in 1970.
Chunk of ice.
Launched in 1972, 569 pounds. But the reality is, ever since games in 1938 in Germany, in Berlin, signals have been going out in space from our planet, by television wave and, of course, radio wave before that. So, but it's really remarkable because it was, 1972, and they started putting up satellites, major ones, to go off into the unknown.
There you go.
So it's probably going to be responsible for sending someone back.
Yeah, more than likely. Yeah, someone we don't want.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't know. I'm pretty sure some of our politicians are obviously aliens, but. We'll be right back right after this, so stay tuned. Hey, don't forget our poll today, our poll question of the day. How early is it too early to start mowing? So come on and check that out. We'll be right back right after the news. 24 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Thursday, June 13, 2019, 59 degrees outside. Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor, and Shane Tom, half man, half amazing in Vancouver, British Columbia. And you're listening to the international KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane.
Gee, I feel so international.
I know. 1994, a jury in Anchorage, Alaska, blamed recklessness by Exxon Corp and Captain Joseph Hazelwood for the Exxon Valdez disaster, allowing victims of the nation's worst oil spill to seek $15 billion in damages. Quite a coup up there. They said Hazelwood might have been tipping the bottle a little bit before he hit the bridge or hit whatever he hit.
Yep, 2.8 million to 31 million gallons, 257,000 to 750,000 barrels. I don't know about that. Okay, the only thing about this that I want people to know is studies done in the 90s in regards to this resulted in discovering that sports boating, not non-commercial boating, sports boating, they globally spill 10 times more than that annually into the ocean.
Just from the motor pumping the mixed fuel into the
pumping it into your filling up your tank at the dock, or cleaning the engine, or putting oil in and spilling oil you put in the engine, or mixing it on the dock. So there is all kinds of dastardly thing out there. Oh, you want to talk about the Montana Freeman? I knew that.
Well, yeah, we have to talk about that.
Yeah, of course.
Well, in 1996, an 81-day standoff ended as 16 members of the anti-government Freemen group surrendered to the FBI and left their left their Montana ranch. Schweitzer, of course, in there, and a lot of other folks. So Leroy Schweitzer, I think, was the head guy there, and so yeah.
Now this is one of the successful things the FBI did.
Well, all right. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
How you guys doing?
Good.
Good. Hey,
is this a Montana free man calling?
Well, this is Aaron.
I know, Aaron. I'm kidding you. I'm just kidding you.
Oh, why did you say that?
Oh, we were just talking about this organization in Montana about the Montana Freemen. They were government. It was an anti-government militia that held off the FBI and your federal government back in, what was it, Tom?
96. Yeah, 96. Yeah, we just moved here. We've been here about 3 years when that happened, and there were more.
You were there?
Oh yeah, there were more FBI people here than there were Montana residents.
Well, what's funny about that? I was living in Las Vegas when that thing started.
Oh yeah.
And I am from the eastern side of the state.
Yeah.
And when that happened, I'm like, oh my God. So I rushed home.
Yeah.
I moved from Las Vegas back here. I thought there was going to be a civil war. And that's kind of interesting. That was back when I was young and had vitality and youth and vigor.
You're right. Me too. Me too.
I just watch that on TV.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because right after that, so my hometown is just south of Jordan, and all the news people were there.
Oh yeah.
In my homtown, it was just full of them, and they were everywhere. But then that the Unabomber happened, and all those news people, it was just like they vanished.
Yeah.
It was like cockroaches turning on the light. You know what I mean?
Yep. It was quite a time in Montana because Ruby Ridge had been a few years before that, over in Idaho, and there was a lot of with the Vietnam War and all of that stuff, ending, and then I don't know, there was a lot of anti-American sentiment or pro-American sentiment, I guess. They weren't happy with the politicians, they weren't happy with the laws and all of that. So yeah.
What's funny is it seems like the people that were protesting the Vietnam War, I think they were noble in that to a degree. I don't think that you attack I don't think Vietnam was a good war. I don't think anybody should have went.
Yeah.
And I sure as hell don't think you don't draft people in just wars. Just wars, people sign up.
Sure.
So, and I have all the respect in the world for the people that got drafted, the people that signed up and went. I have, no complaining against them. But, it seems like that sentiment that, you don't trust the government and, this is wrong what we're doing. It's like the conservatives have almost taken that mantle now, and then the left, the people that were doing that, are running the country. Those 69 Haight-Ashbury hippies are the ones that running the country right now, and they're like all.
And they started out as conservatives. They were upset. The Students for a Democratic Society were upset that there wasn't conservative views on campus. And they all sold out later.
They did all sell out, but there's very little difference between a classical liberal and a conservative.
True.
The differences they're not overt. It's minutia, really. And it might be social stuff that the government doesn't even have any responsibility or constitutional authority to be involved in.
Yeah.
But, there's a lot of similarities between a true conservative and a true liberal, and people are trying to weld them together and call them libertarian, and that's just not, you can't do that either. But as far as that Exxon Valdez, I just want to say this real quick. I have a buddy that lives up there, and he said the area that they cleaned up still hasn't recovered from the cleanup. The areas that they couldn't clean up look just fine, pristine.
All right.
So it's amazing, if a man would have just left it alone, it would be okay today.
Well, oil does dissipate in the ocean. It does eventually go away.
Well, things eat it. My
that too. Yeah,
at the bottom,
there's bacterial breakdown in the ocean. Breaks down everything.
We we used to go dump the oil when we changed the oil out in the field.
Mm-hmm.
And over 2-year period of time, that's where the greenest, you could always tell where it happened because it would be dead. There would be nothing there for 2 or 3 years. And then all of a sudden, you'd have the tallest, greenest grass in the world right there. And the rest of the field would be,
the tough grass, the M13 grass would come in.
Right, yeah, but but seriously, I mean, it grew better grass. It fertilized the soil over time.
M13.
The M13 grass. That's funny. All right, hey, you guys be good.
All right, take care.
Buddy, thanks for the call.
All right, we got to take a break. We'll be right back. 13 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Thursday, June 13th, 2019, 59 degrees outside. 1997, a jury voted unanimously to give Timothy McVeigh the death penalty for his role in the Oklahoma City bombing. And Shane, didn't we report he was given that injection 2 or 3 days ago in this day in history?
That's right, yeah.
So it took a year for them to
put him away.
Why?
Permanently.
Jury voted unanimously. What are you doing Monday? Come on. Jeez, a year to put this guy away?
Well, it works slowly. If we ever went over the number or the statistics of convictions by your justice system, it would be pretty scary to realize just how few people that commit murder or heinous crimes in your country are tried and found guilty.
Yeah,
I
know it's a pretty small number. Yeah, but when I was growing up, of course, we thought every crook got caught, every single one. I mean that's what we were taught in school and at home and everywhere else. And guess it didn't work quite that way, but I don't know. These guys live on death row for 13, 14 years. I remember Charles Starkweather back in the 50s when he and his girlfriend went on a killing spree across Kansas and all of that. They captured him in June. He was dead in December. All appeals done. Jeez, come on. I think we need to get back to the 50s and really put this thing away.
Here this month, gone in a few.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Former President George H.W. Bush celebrated his 80th birthday with a 13,000-foot parachute jump over his presidential library in College Station. He made one when he was 90, too, or 90 right. Also, I should say, not 92. But, yeah, he was.
And those gentlemen for celebrating the 75th anniversary of Normandy,
they made some jumps, too, yeah.
Yeah, in their 90s. Wow.
I know. Wow. Holy smokes. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number. Call you on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Morning, Tom and Shane.
Morning.
I'd like to correct Shane on something.
Okay, good.
Oh, good.
This country does not have a justice system.
Oh, there
it has a...
Well, that's a major correction.
Yeah, let me finish.
Yeah.
It has a legal system.
Ah, there you are.
There's a world of difference between legal and justice.
That's right. Hey. Amen to that. Hey, good call.
All righty. Talk to you later.
Thank you. All right. That was a good one. I like that. All right. We got to take another quick break. We'll be right back right after this. 8 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Thursday, June 13th, 2019, 59 degrees outside. Tom Eagle off your morning mayor, Shane Montalban, half man, half amazing, and the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. And we're talking about the events of this day in history.
That's right.
Well, in 2005, singer Michael Jackson was acquitted on charges of molesting a 13-year-old cancer survivor, I should say, cancer survivor, at his Neverland Ranch. So, trial of the century. Quite a spectacle that was.
It was indeed.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't the trial of the century, but it was a trial.
No. O.J. Simpson's trial was celebrated yesterday. We talked about that.
We talked about that.
Now, that was the most... The highest ratings of all time for television for that 6-month trial. Wow, that's amazing.
I know, yeah. Well, Michael would pull up in his limo and get out, and his hanger-on would be there with the umbrella. So walk him into the courthouse under an umbrella, no matter what the weather was. So I guess he didn't want to get sunburned walking into the wherever. But, yeah, so I don't know.
Really, people tend to be a bit odd. Elton John he did some pretty wild things.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone does. But
Well, yeah, but it's a shame with this guy because he actually really had a lot of talent and
Incredible.
could, if he hadn't gone nuts with everything that, turning white and trying to look like Diana Ross or whoever he was trying to look like. And, I mean, the guy could have made music history, some of his early stuff. And, the guy was a nice looking guy, too. I mean, I think he would have, obviously the family was dysfunctional, the old man and mom and the brothers were all jealous. And, I mean, they had a lot of problems within the family, a lot like the Beach Boys, with all kinds of things going on. But, it's just a shame when you see real talent like that. And, it's God-given, I believe. And, boy, for it to turn out the way it did, just is sad. Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix. I mean, the list goes on and on of talented people that would still be making amazing music today, probably. But
you wonder about the functionality or dysfunctionality of families. A great example in entertainment too is comedy.
Oh,
lot of some of the greatest comedians of all time were Jewish people, or they came from Jewish families, and so you have to appreciate that there's a tremendous aspect to family and how you're raised, and like you said, his father was so abusive to all of those boys. It was it's pretty sad.
Yeah. Well, in 2009, incumbent Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, remember him, right?
Oh yeah.
One that went to Columbia University and said they don't have the phenomenon of gayness in Iran. Yeah, that doesn't happen here. I don't know what you guys are doing, but not in Iran. And he was declared the winner of a disputed Iranian presidential vote, touching off weeks of mass demonstrations. And I don't know. I think we really dropped the ball with Iran. I think we had an excellent opportunity there to. The younger people wanted freedom and all of that, and I think we really dropped the ball by not, moving in there and doing something. I don't know.
Well, we had before with the Shah and the Schwarzkopf.
Well, the Shah was no picnic. The Shah was Hussein 2.0. He wasn't exactly a choir boy either, with his people.
That's right.
So, but yeah, we do get in bed with some bad people.
But we talk about this a lot. And Iran is Persia. Persians are not Arabs.
Yeah.
And it's the land of the Shiite Muslim, and it's the land of the Abraham church that they turned into a shrine for the Shiite religion. So I mean, there's a lot of parallels to this gentleman, Muhammad Ahmadinejad, and what happened. The interesting thing about it is how long he actually stayed in office. He was in office for quite a while.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Well, made several visits over here, made speeches to the UN and everything, and oh my God, he was. Yeah. I can't believe the students at Columbia didn't boo him off the stage though when he talked about we don't have the phenomenon of homosexuality in Iran. Well, no, you're throwing them all off buildings and
that's right, yeah,
or burn them at the stake or whatever. But yeah,
that's right. And if you're not Muslim, as we said, you have three choices: you can become a Muslim, you pay a tax not being a Muslim, or you die. That's your choice, That's it.
Fruit Loops or death. That's what you get.
And when you look at the Catholic Church and the problems it's had in its history, so it's got its issue too, but it was never that harsh. I mean, at least you could go into a priest and tell him you sinned.
That's true. Yeah. And then you go out to the firing squad. That's why they don't have confession in Iran, I guess, huh?
Well, I still think the Catholic Church should claim, you get free psychological analysis, with your priest every day at confession. So that's why you should go in there.
Okay. So, And then you get, 10 Hail Marys and a couple
right.
mea culpas, and you're nice and clean again as you go out, exit the building.
And the Jewish have a celebratory week in which you pray off all your sins of the previous year, and you start with a new slate.
Well, all right.
Clean.
Well, hey, I'm down with that. Let's do that. Maybe we'll have a week of that here. We'll just have a week of prayer all week on the morning soapbox. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, yeah,
we'll absolve all the listeners of their sins.
Yeah, we'll bring it up with the God Squad.
There you go. From our text line, 478-8298, regarding Michael Jackson, they pump him full of hormones so his voice wouldn't change. Sad, really. So, I don't know. That's, as I say, it's a sad story of Michael Jackson, that's for sure. So, all the fame and all the money and all the stuff, and you're dead at 50.
Yeah, at 50. Kabam.
All right, we'll be right back with more right after this, so stay tuned. A lot more to come. We're going to do, Shane, guess what? There's new buildings coming up. We'll be talking about those in Bozeman at the top of the hour. We got some Livingston news. We got all kinds of things going on. So we'll continue with that when we return, so stay tuned. And don't forget our poll question. When is it too early to start mowing? Get over there and answer that question for us. Thank you, Dan. Welcome back, everyone. It is 6 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock. It's Thursday, June 13th, 2019. 62 degrees outside. Shane Tobin, half man, half amazing, on the line with me, and Tommy Galoff, your morning mayor. And this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. And our poll question yesterday, Shane, best pizza in Bozeman. We got over 100 votes on this deal.
Oh, great.
Yeah. The winner was other. 36 votes for other. Of the ones we put up as suggestions, Little Caesars got 20, Rosa got 15, McKenzie River got 12, Columbo's got 8, Audrey's got 6, Buffalo Bump got 4, Pizza Hut got 3, and Domino's got 2. So,
well, there you go.
But some others, Palladino's got a vote, Red Tractor, Tarantino's, Fire Pizza Bozeman, Papa John's, Spectators, Bridger Brewing, Cosmic, let's see, trying to not repeat them here, Nordic, new restaurant out in the Ferguson Center. Let's see, Club Tavern and Grill was in there. Old Chicago was in there. Bowman's, I'm not sure where Bowman's is, but anyway. And I think all the rest of them are repeats of what we've already done. So, yeah. Yeah, so, 33% was other, but Little Caesars was second at 18%, so.
And there you go, folks. That's what makes pizza the most popular fast food in your country. Not hamburgers. No. Not tacos, not Subway, Pizza, baby.
Well, there you are. So that's where it is. Our poll question today, when is it too early to start mowing? The preliminary right now, 50% say before 9 a.m. Two folks said before 8, and a couple more said before 7. One said before 10. One said you should be able to vote whenever you want, and another one, and we also gave you your own choice. You could put your own answer in, and the other answer is it depends on the neighbors. Yeah, if they're
I mean, it's a courtesy call because most people mow their lawn on Sunday or Monday or Saturday or Sunday. So, people want to sleep in because those are their days off.
That's right,
You should think about your neighbors.
That's right, yeah. Or if they work a night shift or something like that, or whatever, And
or whatever. I like your or whatever.
I was thinking of radio talk show hosts that they're in bed at 7 p.m. That are in bed by 7, and the mower's outside going at 7 o'clock at night after work, and so give me a break. Barking dogs.
I do love the smell of fresh cut grass.
It is good. Yeah, it is good. Yeah. We go out there and sit on our deck and have a adult beverage or two and just watch the world go by.
You beverage in the afternoon? Wow.
Well, it's 10 o'clock for me.
That's right. Yeah, I guess it is. Right.
Come on.
Yeah, that's true. Well, my summer drink is gin and tonic.
Is it?
Because gin makes me sin. That's good.
Oh,
And,
good. Okay.
And Oban Scotch in the winter with a beer. That's what I like.
All right. Well, there you go. Well, guess what, Shane? Let's see. Let's do a couple text lines here. 478-8298. Shane the Catholic. Shane the Catholic Church was never that bad. Have you ever heard of Dark Ages?
Yeah, right.
The Inquisitions and all that stuff?
I said it had serious issues. I don't deny that.
Okay.
All right.
From our text line, 478-8298. Be careful, guys. I was put in Facebook jail for 30 days for mentioning Muslim tradition of removing gays and feminists. So, okay, We better be careful here. Town Square Media will come swooping down, and much like Pinterest got on the news here recently, we'll be talking about that in a little while. But right now, though, we've got to talk about a couple of things. One is, of course, that Pence is here. Pence is lurking around Bozeman in the area, and going to visit Yellowstone, but he's here to address the meth issue, and we're going to, I'm in discussions with Brian Gookin, our local sheriff, to get him in here one of these mornings, and we'll be chatting about the meth situation here in Bozeman. But President Pence is here, and Greg Gianforte and Steve Daines, of course. Greg Gianforte will be joining us at 7:30 on Monday morning. So just a heads up on that.
Cool.
So now's for governor. So we'll be chatting with him about what his view of what Montana needs. But yeah, Pence pushed a combination of tough law enforcement and treatment for addicts to combat Montana's methamphetamine crisis during a Wednesday visit to the state. That was also aimed at raising campaign cash for our fellow Republican Senator Steve Daines, of course, who's running. And the vice president heard harrowing tales of violence and child abuse linked to meth as he spoke with treatment providers, law enforcement, tribal officers, tribal officials, rather, and recovering addicts when he was in Billings. They stressed that meth has emerged as a far bigger problem in Montana than the opioids prevalent elsewhere in the nation, and noted that meth is now the driving force behind many robberies, other violent crimes, and most child neglect cases.
And remember, you've been through this before. Back in the 80s and 90s, it was crack cocaine. Remember?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And and that came out of the cities. And went into the rural areas of your country, and it was horrific too. I mean, so it's just this drug issue is just becoming more and more prevalent as a way for people, particularly young people, to be able to fall back from society or not engage.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is that Montana, and particularly in Bozeman's a tough place to live. You got to have a couple bucks to, you got to rub a couple nickels together to live here. And I think a lot of people resort to this as either their full-time income or a partial income because, well, it's easy money. It's easy to get. People want it. And, if you can get a supplier and a supply, then, until the police catch up with you or somebody blows the whistle on you,
that's right.
But as they say, that also gets to where, that becomes your whole life and you neglect your kids and, it's certainly not good for your health. But
and worse even, it's cheaper than alcohol. I mean, alcohol isn't cheap.
No, not unless you buy $2 Chuck, I guess. But that's it. So I don't know. Yeah.
I remember Polar Bear wine. That's all I know.
That's it. MD 2020. That was our back in the day in high school. Oh, man. I'm dating myself now. Well, developers filed plans with the city for a new downtown apartment building on South Church Street. The Veranda building, a sixplex, will be on Church between Babcock and Olive near the Bozeman Bowl. And it will be home to 1 bedroom and 5 2-bedroom units, each with what? Say it with me, a veranda. That's why it's called the Veranda building.
Is there a parking garage? That's all I want to know.
There's no parking garage for 6 people. No, what, 5 people? 15 and 2 maybe. 17 people. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and that's 17 cars.
Okay, yeah. The project's in the public notice period, one of the final planning stages pending approval. Velocity Developments construction will begin either this fall or next spring and should be completed by the fall of 2020. To construct the building, the developers will need to demolish an existing single-family home. It was built before 1891, according to city documents, and said the house is in pretty rough shape and the foundation is compromised. So we'll take care of that. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Well, it's very seldom I get up this early, but it's good to hear you guys. I miss you on Saturday.
Well, we do too.
I'm on that deal about the meth.
Yeah.
My nephew, 29 years old, I had a conversation with him. He was in and out of rehab deals. He'd had money to spend from his parents and stuff, but I asked him about the meth. I said, what in the world is it that attracts people to that stuff? And he said, when you take it one time, the first time you take it, you are hooked. He said, because you go into an euphoria, just a never happy land, and it's just unbelievable. And then from then on, you will never reach that stage again. You're always looking for that high, that beautiful high that you had the first time when the guy or girl got you to try it, and it never came up. And he finally overdosed on heroin several years ago already, but I couldn't understand the meth. And I was in Arizona, and I was in a massage class, and there was a girl from California. I was taking her and her friend home from our massage class in Scottsdale, Arizona. And she said, ooh, we're going through a subdivision to her condo where they're staying. She came to that school. And she said, oh, somebody's cooking up some meth. And I said, what? And she said, didn't you smell that? And I said, no. I said, I want to smell what's going on. We were on a city street, a subdivision street, and we turned around and went back, and I slowed down, and my goodness, there's this real sweet smell. It's not like any flower you'd smell, but it definitely wasn't a bad smell. And she said, that's somebody's cooking meth right there. And I said, holy cow. And she knew all about it from California, but it's just so sad. You get hooked one time, the first time, and it's all over. It's not like you have to get it conditioned to it, and it kills you. Yeah. And thank you for taking my call.
All right, man. Thanks for the call.
Thank you.
All right, appreciate it. All right. You can hear us on Saturday. Just go to KMMSAM.com and click on our podcast. We got 160 episodes you can listen to on Saturday. So
download.
Listen to them on your smartphone, or actually, you can have them sent to your smartphone automatically. Just go down or go over to the page where the podcasts are. Go down the right-hand side, and you'll see a link there to get it on either your Apple phone or your Android phone, either one, and you'll never miss another show. And they're commercial-free, and all you get is us, and the callers, and the texters. And the callers,
especially the callers.
That's right, all those folks. Well, getting back to this building here, it's going to be a 3-story building, Shane, so it's pretty nice looking here in the picture. But the building is Zone B3, Central Business District, which calls for pedestrian-friendly multi-unit structures. The house borders a residential 2 districts, so they think the higher density veranda building will be a nice transition between the 2 zones. So it's 6,375 square feet. Building will be 3 stories tall, featuring brick and steel elements and fit with the surrounding architecture, dark windows, and an outdoor garden space on the bottom level. So there you are. Can't beat it.
Wonder what they'll cost. What do you bet? 750 to $1 million?
Probably. I don't know. I don't. Well, they're talking about apartments, so I guess they're going to be rentals rather than condo purchases. I mean, normally you don't buy an apartment. Mm-hmm. I would think. I don't know why they call them apartments when they're all together, but I don't know. It's a whole other story, I guess. But
marketing, baby.
That's it. Well, we talked about the Black Olive building forever. Well, somebody broke into it. Bail was set at $2,500 Wednesday for a Bozeman man accused of breaking into a contentious, unfinished, it says contentious. I don't know.
It does.
Yeah, unfinished 5-story apartment building. I guess it was contentious, wasn't it? I know the neighbors didn't like it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's unfinished 5-story apartment building while drunk, operating a forklift inside and peeing in the upstairs units. Oh, God.
Wow.
21 years old, charged with felony burglary after a break-in and at the construction site on Olive. He appeared in court and before Rick West, and they said he's bail at $2,500, and so I don't know. It's quite a little
yesterday
story.
We covered this solar panel installed at the Bozeman schools, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So I did some checking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what I found out. Bozeman averages 277 days of sunshine. Now that's not clear days.
Yeah.
You do get 100 clear days.
Okay.
But the bottom line is that's still like 100 days with no sunshine.
Right, yeah.
Number one. Okay.
Particularly in the wintertime, yeah.
Yes, and Vancouver, we get an average of 89 days of sunshine, but that's not clear days of sunshine. We only get 90 days of clear.
Because you're raining all the time there.
Because it's raining here a lot. Yeah, and then they come in and come out and you get some sun.
All right.
The point is not good for solar panels.
All right. We got to take a quick break. We got a caller waiting. So, Shane, if you can talk to them, we'll be right back. 25 minutes after the hour of 7 a.m. It's Thursday, June 13, 2019, 62 degrees outside. Shane and Tom and half man, half amazing on the line. Tom Eagle off your morning mayor. And we welcome you to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. And getting back to this guy that broke into the Black Olive thing, guy left his passport there.
Oh, you got to be kidding. Come on. Serious?
Oh, man. Robert Penny, a construction superintendent, flagged a Bozeman officer down according to charging documents. Said he found the guy's passport inside the construction site, and video showed 2 people in the building. Anyway, the video showed the perpetrator and another person break into the building around 2:30 a.m. on Friday. And it showed him driving a forklift while the other person jumped on its fork, and the 2 swaying, staggering, and dancing inside the building. So I don't know. This guy's gonna go to jail for a felony for dancing inside this unfinished building.
Yeah,
so,
pretty strange.
I don't know.
And the thing about unfinished buildings, because we've had that as an issue here in Vancouver for about 40 years, but. Yeah. The longer they are left to weather, for anyone else to finish it, they'll have to tear it down, start again. That's the terrible thing.
Well, it certainly could be, yeah. So, we had the fire that's still under investigation, I think, over on the old Pizza Hut place on Babcock. So I haven't heard much about that lately, what the investigation of that has uncovered or anything. There hadn't been much in the news about that at all, so. I don't know. All right, let's see. In other news, Streamline Bus Service. We asked Krause about that, right?
Yes.
Who finances the bus company? Well, they want more money. The bus service is part of HRDC, the Human Resources Development Center, and gets money from Montana State University, the Montana Department of Transportation, and others. The city has given Streamline more money in the past as one-time payments, but Bozeman's free public bus must be in financial trouble if the city doesn't provide more money from its annual budget. So we may need to put that on the list for Krause, the Streamline Bus. Streamline asked the city for $200,000 to pay for operational cost, and the city manager's proposed budget for the general fund, the bus service would receive $150,000. Program Director Sunshine Ross asked the City Commission on Monday to consider increasing the amount because $150,000 would not be enough. It would be a struggle to keep current operations going, and commissioners will vote to adopt a budget June 24th and can make adjustments beforehand. The bus service is part of HRD, as I said. And Christian Donald, the city finance director, said the money allocated for Streamline was calculated based on its past financial statements and the money it gets from other organizations. So there you are. So city buses need more money. And when we come back, we're down to 3 in the Bozeman School District job. We'll tell you about those folks and what they're up to. And then we got to get on to the 5 things you need to know. Livingston over there, the ambulance levy. We want to talk about that a little bit. And they've got some lifeguard training and stuff going on over there, so we'll cover that. And more stuff for you right after this, so hang on. 24 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Thursday, June 13th, 2019, 62 degrees outside. Shane Montalman on the line with me from Vancouver, British Columbia, and Tom Eagle off your morning mare. And this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox. Hey, don't forget our poll of the day. How early should you start mowing in the morning? How early should you start mowing? And don't forget also on our AM 1450 KMMS app on your smartphone, we added a new app chat. So you can chat with us on your cell phone. And it's right next to the Listen to Us button. So check that out. You can either send a general message or you can send a message specifically to Shane and myself. So there you are. And also, don't forget our Facebook page. To like it, go over to facebook.com/KMMSAM and get that done. So we'll be happy to do that. Our poll question of the morning, before 9 a.m. is leading. Don't start mowing before 9 a.m. 60%, 50% of the answers go there. We got a couple answers before 8 a.m. and 7 a.m. Those two are tied. And then 7% think before 10 a.m. is too early. And 7% think you should be able to mow whenever you want. And we also put in that you could put your own answer in, and that answer is it depends on the neighbors. So, I think, if you know your neighbors well, that should be something you ought to consider looking at and whatever. So, not a bad deal. Well, let's see. Did we finish up with Bozeman here? Oh no, we didn't. We've got the we got the school district. Ooh, and we're down to 3. We've got Sarah Brown, 54, who recently resigned as Human Resources Director of the 48,000 student Manatee County School District in Florida. Got Bob Connors, 56, a current superintendent of the 842 student Glasgow School District in eastern Montana. And Christopher Hines, 58, deputy superintendent of the 63,000 student Conroe School District in Texas. So Richard Schroeder, a former Illinois school administrator now working for a book publisher, was a no-show. So, he's from Illinois. What do you expect? It didn't show up. Well, there is a little bone of contention here between Brown. Sarah Brown came with a little baggage, I guess. Brown defended her 4-year record in manatee schools. The Branderson Herald of Florida reported Tuesday on a critical report by a school superintendents association, which found that schools often viewed her human resources department as an impediment. So Brown said the reports is full of misleading information, not accurate, and ill-intended. It sounds like Trump.
It does to some degree. You're right. That's right. Yeah.
She said she had increased the teacher hiring rate in 3 years by 26%, increased teacher retention 21%, gotten a school benefits system that was $9 million in the red back into surplus, and started job fairs that successfully hired more than 500 teachers. She said the report had been sought by an administrator who was not her friend and who had been investigated by the Florida Department of Education for 7 counts of unethical behavior. So,
wow.
Is this what we want?
Well, I don't know. When you read that, it's like, how did she get in the top 3? Anyway, the bottom line is if these are the top 3 candidates, you would think that the toss should go to the Montanan. I mean, like, why wouldn't it go to the Montanan?
Well, I don't know. Well, I guess it's based on a lot of things, experience and, the whole. No, but they asked them a lot of questions, about all kinds of things.
But they've gone through all that. They've done their due diligence.
I know that. But I mean,
So there's 3 left. So what could be the main reason to make a choice of the 3? And I'm just saying, I think that might be the guy from Montana, right? That's all.
Well, the only thing I would have against the guy from Montana is that he's only supervised 842 students, where the Christopher Hines has done 63,000 students. So, if you want to grow your school district, somebody who's done that many students might have an advantage over somebody who's only done 842 students. So that would be what I would say.
Yeah, but you're growing your school district is predicated on birth rate. It's not credit. It's not really. I mean,
well, what do you tell me? Montana's not going to grow. Bozeman's not going to grow.
No, I didn't say that. Of course, it's going to grow. But if people aren't having children,
two words for you: new high school.
Oh, right, yeah. How could I be so wrong?
We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more of this frivolity. And our text line. We'll be right back. 16 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Thursday, June 13th, 2019, 62 degrees outside. Shane Tobin's been interrogating a caller, so let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you are on with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Good morning, gentlemen, and it was a rough interrogation. I have to tell you, those Canadians are tough.
He takes no prisoners.
Yeah.
Just like Custer.
Well, listen, I just want to follow up on something that Shane said. I think he has a legitimate point when he says that there should be some preference given to somebody living in Montana right now. And I don't know if the gentleman's or the lady is a native Montana, but even then they ought to give a little preference. And here's why. There's a couple logical reasons. Number one is that they've already adapted and subscribed to our culture, and our culture is a little different than it is in most other parts of the country, and sometimes there's an adaptation that takes place that's a little bit difficult for people. And the second thing is I really don't want our new school superintendent waking up on January 15th when it's 28 below, as we're in the 10th day of a freeze cycle, and they're looking at their spouse or in the mirror going, what was I thinking coming to Montana? and one last thing.
That can happen.
Thing, if I could, is Tom, you're very optimistic, thinking that we're going to have 63,000 students here anytime in the near future.
Well, I'm just saying that, we've got a pretty good-sized school district already. I don't know how many students we have, but we got quite a few,
Yeah, well,
I think we have more than 842. So,
well, I would guess. Yeah, I'm going to guess that we'd have 4,000 or 5,000.
I would think,
guess,
yeah,
but...
I would think that. So, and it's, I'll use myself as the own example here. That the reason they're at a job hunt for somebody else is because they're looking for somebody who has grown a station in a bigger market. I think that's the person they're trying to find to replace me. So I don't know, because I haven't done that. But even though I have the advantage of being local for 26 years, we
want you to stick around and do the organic growth thing. That's the key word of the day: organic growth.
All right.
Okay, just hang in there, and you grow the station. Let's let a Montanan grow the school system, and we'll all be happier about it. I mean, I do honestly, personally resent it when they constantly reach outside of our city to find answers to their questions. They can't hire somebody local from the university to do a study on affordable housing. They got to go find somebody in Seattle who knows nothing about our little town and hire them for a lot of money to come in here and give us an answer that we already had.
Shane and I do it for half the price.
Well, there you go.
Both of us.
I don't know why they don't call on us. Shane's going to be here in July. Let's solve this problem.
Okay, guys.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Thanks for listening.
Yep.
All right. Good job.
Okay, now for the 401k update real quick. The market's open. The Dow's up 130, Standard & Poor's 514, NASDAQ 50. Europe is looking pretty good. The FTSE is up. The DAX in Germany is up. CAC in France. FTSE in Italy is up big time. And even the IBEX in Spain is looking strong. The other 44 exchanges in Europe are, they're doing relatively well, up, holding on to line. And the Nike is down in Japan, and the Hong Kong is down because obviously they're rioting. Shanghai is marginal, up 3 points. Commodity prices, though, are looking interesting. Oil is $52.75 in the U.S., $61.88 Brent in Europe. It's up $1.94 there, $1.95 or $1.56 here. Natural gas is down to $2.36, and gasoline up a little bit, but your average price of gas in the U.S. is $1.71. Of course, our average price in Canada is $8 a gallon U.S. Heating oil in the U.S. is $1.82, and gold up $2.84 to $13.35, so holding in there. Silver's trying to breach 15 at $14.82, up 83. And platinum, soybeans up 8.25 to 8.85. Wheat 5.34, up 7.25. And when we get down to livestock, live cattle 108, down $1. Lean hog $79, up marginally. Feeder cattle 135, up or down 275. Beef is at 10.62. Government bonds, again down. The 10 years 211 and the 30 years 261. And I just want to mention, because we talk about bonds, particularly the U.S., but I just want to real quick give you an idea. Mexico's interest rate on their debt is $7.73.
Okay.
And New Zealand is $1.71. India, $7.02. Canada, $1.48. Greece, of course, $2.68. But and Brazil, $7.93. So, when we talk about
tariffs.
Tariffs and that too, but we talk about exchange traded funds.
Oh.
That's the type of fund you can get into with these, developing countries with high interest rates and make money on that Mike talks about a lot of time. We should ask him about that next week.
We should.
The euro's hanging in at $1.12. The pound in Britain at $1.26. Japan, the Japanese yen is at 108. China's at 6.9, and of course the Canadian dollar's at 133. Come to Canada, spend your money this year in beautiful British Columbia.
All right, and we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back right after this. 6 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Thursday, June 13th, 2019. Shane Tobin on the line with me, half man, half amazing. Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor in the house. It says the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane, and we've got a caller patiently waiting, Shane, so let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number. And caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Sorry. No, I was calling to find out of a segment I heard of yours the other night. I just wanted the phone number to it. It was a health program.
Oh.
And so I called at the end of it. I didn't know I was going to get you. I didn't know anybody was even going to answer.
Oh,
so,
well, here we are.
Here you are. Sorry about that. You kind of threw me for a loop there for a second.
Well, that's quite all right. No problem. What was the show?
Well, I caught the very end of it, and it was let me see. I caught it at 7:25, and I think it was p.m. And I believe it was Saturday. It was June 8th.
Oh, okay.
And it was a health show, and I caught like the last couple minutes, and they were talking about something I wanted to know about, but I have no idea who it was.
Well,
so
I guess tune in again at 7:00 and get the number.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
okay.
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay.
I don't keep track of all the call-in numbers. I know Rush's number, but
oh yeah, well, there you go. Good for you.
Yeah,
Good
call 282-2882.
Yeah, good for you. Well, listen, thank you. I do appreciate it. I just did. I had no idea that I was going to get on this talk show, so I was just trying to find the number.
Well, keep listening, I hope.
I will. I will.
Great.
I will.
We appreciate it.
I always listen.
Well, good.
I always listen to this channel. Thank you.
We do too.
Okay.
All right.
And
Thanks
I'm glad you like Rush.
Well, you have to. Otherwise, they'll fire me. Come on.
Well, they should.
There you go. Hey, I appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Bye. Well, that was entertaining, wasn't it, Shane? So,
phone calls, you never know what you're going to get.
You never know what you're going to get. All right. From our text line, 478-8298, ever notice Ameren commercials and Purple Mattress commercials are played in the same segment? Well, occasionally they are, I guess. So, I don't know, Shane. We're a Noxatril-free morning, so we should count our blessings, I think. At least so far, I don't see any Noxatril on the horizon for today. Unless it's during Rush's update, but you never know. Sometimes it's in there, but yeah.
I just wanted an Noxatril ad to come along because I want the follow-up lead-in song music to be Barry White. We got to do that.
Oh, it's some Barry White music with Noxatril? Yeah, we need. Noxatril, yeah. I'll load some Barry White up here the next time we get that. We'll come back with a little Barry White.
Yeah.
Some wine and
baby, I love
tickling
you.
Glasses, some that'll work. But I don't know, man. It seems like I know our demographic is an older audience, somewhat. We're 35 on, I would say. It's about our audience.
That's what the phone callers seem to be. 30 up. Yep.
So, I don't know, but we sure seem to have an awful lot of pills we sell here for everything from, I don't know.
Well, the pharmaceuticals spend $100 billion a year advertising. So
well, apparently they do. So I guess I should be thankful they're here at least, but I don't know. I'm wondering, some of these things about the bedroom, I'm not sure they are appropriate between 6 and 9 when we got kids going to school or kids in the car or things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a little.
Or kids at home eating breakfast.
Yeah. I mean, come on. That's there's a time and a place for performance.
I don't know, Tom. It is the 21st century.
I guess so. I'm probably pretty prudish in my old age here, I guess, huh?
Old school, they call it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, that's me, I guess. So yeah, if you, the first time I heard if you sweat the bed, I didn't think that's what they were talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the deal, man?
And we do it for an entirely different reason than women do.
I was going to say, I don't know, but sweating the bed and doing the Mary Lou Retton thing, I don't know. It's pretty.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's see. Where are we in our? Where are we? We did the school district. Let's see. Livingston, real quick. The ambulance voters easily approved a property tax increase for ambulance service Tuesday during a special mail-in election. The $400,000 ambulance mill levy was requested to purchase new equipment and offset a budget shortfall for the Livingston Fire and Rescue Ambulance Service. So the mill levy was approved during the countywide mail ballot election with 61% of the voters in favor of the increase, and there were 2,657 votes for the mill levy, 1,683 against, according to the results from the Park County clerk and recorder. So, Livingston's got ambulance service for a while longer, I guess. So that's a good thing.
Well, the only thing is, God forbid, it's needed at two places at once, and they have to decide. That's the only difficult thing.
That's true. That's the bad part. Also, they're going to have a lifeguard training over there in Livingston. The Livingston Pool open Tuesday. And so if you want to get in on that, public swim Monday through Friday, 1 to 4:15, and Saturday, 1:15. Family swim 7 to 8 on Monday through Friday. And daily entrance fee is $3. So get over there and do some swimming. It's good for you. All right. Shane and I'll be back with 5 things you need to know right after this. All right, thank you, Dan. Welcome back, everyone. It's 6 minutes after the hour, Thursday, June 13, 2019, 66 degrees outside. Shane and Tom on the line with me from Vancouver, British Columbia, and Tom Eaglehoff, your morning mayor, in the house. And this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. And Shane, we got a caller waiting patiently on the line, so let's go to the phones, if I could say it. 522-TALK is the number. 522-8255. Caller, you're on with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Well, good morning, Tom and Shane.
Good morning.
I would have called in earlier when these subjects were topical, but I was cooking, and that's far more important.
Well, that's for sure. How's the meth coming?
Well, the meth is coming good, and it's going to be on the street, I figure, sometime around noon.
Okay, all right.
No, you guys were talking about the Exxon Valdez, and if you remember the trial, and I remember somewhat of it, but it was all about how many martinis the captain had.
Right.
And that's all we heard for days. How many martinis did the guy have the night before? The fact of the matter is, he broke the law. Doesn't matter how many martinis he had, and the way he broke the law was the third mate was at the helm, unsupervised. And the only 2 people on that ship that could be at the helm unsupervised are the captain and the first mate. So by letting that third mate sit at the helm, he was guilty. I don't care if he had 50 martinis. It doesn't make any difference.
All right.
He was guilty. And as far as the meth problem goes, the world's going to end in 12 years. What the hell?
Who cares? Yeah.
Yeah. Give it a try. I mean,
I sure hope I sure hope Town Square Media doesn't find out Shane and I are at the helm with no supervision.
Well, you can't really physically injure anyone.
Well,
so you'd probably be okay.
We might run them off the road if we get them laughing too hard.
Well, yeah. I don't know, but the Valdez guy there, the captain on the Valdez, I think he did do some jail time, but then he went on to a college in New York and he was teaching how to be a skipper.
Yeah. Right.
How to run a super tanker aground.
Yeah.
Here's how you do it. You put the third mate at the helm.
I guess he took the class out on the minnow, huh?
Yeah. Yep. Took it on the minnow or a canoe or something. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, those guys, if you look into the history of these big container ships and these big tankers out there, the problem usually when they get in an accident or they hit another boat or something, many of them are A, covered up, and B, most of them are because the guy at the wheel fell asleep and then he's not watching the radar. So now I guess the remedy for that was that the radar will, if you're sleeping, it'll ping loud enough to wake you up before you run somebody over.
Boy, if only the Titanic had that, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that remedy's coming in 10 years. It'll all be AI operated.
Yeah. Won't be the captain at it'll all be GPS.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's funny you should say that because if we ever had, right now, if we had, it's already bad enough that if we had an EMP pulse that took out a bunch of crap, the people who had to navigate with a compass, they're probably 1 in 1,000 that can do it. So you're gonna have a lot of lost hikers out there.
Yeah.
If they're out there hiking. But
well, they won't be motoring around. They'll just be dead in the water.
They'll be dead in the water, yeah. Nothing will be running. But, it's interesting times. I'm not a big fan of AI, I'll tell you that.
Well, there's too much. It's like the computer. If you put the wrong keystroke in, then everything goes south. Yeah, and that's the computer doesn't say, "Are you sure you mean X instead of Y?"
And the robot says, "Did you say shoot?"
Yeah, right.
Well, I'm just gonna. It sounded like shoot. I'm just gonna shoot the guy.
That's right. Yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, enjoy your breakfast. Thanks for calling in.
I think Shane's trying to get rid of you.
No. I thought he was finished with his thought. That's all.
He's never finished. He's never finished.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot who we're talking to. I'm sorry.
I got too many thoughts to be done. I guess that gal that called in looking for the number for the show. You guys need a call screener.
We do, yeah. I think we're one of the few talk stations. Most of Town Square Media is in cities that can afford that. We can't afford that here. So.
You can't afford it in Bozeman.
No.
Come on.
Hey, we don't even have a receptionist. Come on.
Most people can't afford to live here. You think they'd be able to pay a call screener?
I think so.
Especially with all them Noxitril ads, that pharmaceutical stuff, you guys should be rolling in the dough.
Yeah. If anybody's looking for a job for about 4 hours a day to do not much of anything except sit at a desk, Town Square is looking for, I think, a receptionist for like 3 to 4 hours a day. So I have no idea what it pays minimum, probably. So,
I'd be too biased for that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm done with my thoughts, Shane. So
okay.
Have a lovely day.
All right. Thanks, Pete.
Take care, buddy.
Take care. All right. Well, the other thing that's happening before we get to the 5 things, Shane, James O'Keefe and Project Veritas this week shed new light on the stunning lengths social media platforms are willing to go to crack down on conservative content, even labeling a leading pro-life advocacy group as a porn website. They put it in their porn category. So, boy, I don't know. Anyway, the whistleblower from Pinterest was fired, and he was on Tucker Carlson last night, if you watched that, and was talking about that he, pro-life is not tolerated in social media by the higher-ups, and they won't even... he wasn't even told why he was fired. Security just showed up and escorted him out of the building, and that was it. He was done. Mm-hmm. So that's a sad state of affairs, with free speech and everything. Just because you don't like or you disagree with a viewpoint, and abortion is certainly one. A lot of people, say abortion is not for me, but I'm not going to tell someone else what to do. Yeah. It's the common theme. And then there are other people that say, hey, a child deserves to live, and that's it. End of story. It's God's creation. So knock it off.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, they're losing ground, and it's not acceptable, ever since science has developed. And, it's like the Hyde Amendment, 1976, it was added to the continuing resolution. And, it was sort of a truce between pro-life and pro-choice, and and now it's coming to the forefront once again, and it's interesting content, because I do think that healthcare will be a major issue in your election next year, and that'll be maybe one of the top things about it.
Well, it's one of the things for the listeners not familiar with the Hyde Amendment. It simply says that you can't use tax dollars for abortions. It's pretty much in an abbreviated form.
Yeah,
and I think most people agree with that. You know, if that's your thing, then pay for it yourself or find a way to do it. At a clinic or wherever.
But preconditions, abortion, and healthcare generally would be a major topic.
Are going to be, they are going to be big. That's for sure. From our text line 478-8298, we were talking about the AI, boats and everything being piloted by no people, and Tesla's cars running people into semis and killing them. Automated cars. So. Well, they're not the only one out there, but certainly they are one of them.
I don't think that was Tesla. That was an
Well, there was one in Arizona
Uber.
that ran over a pedestrian.
Yeah, I know that. The Uber car was the one that had the problem.
Yeah.
And, they've suspended AI cars now, and Uber has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's, radar and everything, and we have cars that supposedly stay in their own lane and brake if you're not paying attention and all of that stuff. So those are all good additions to the car, and that's why Clint cars cost $70,000 now instead of 10.
Well, I think the big AI test will be 18-wheelers when they replace the drivers, because it's highway driving, and it's pretty much. It's not simplistic, but it's not as difficult. It's just long hours, and that'll be the first test to see how safe that is.
Well, and I would think they would start where a lot of those 18-wheelers. Well, obviously they come into Bozeman off the freeway, but a lot of their driving is freeway driving, and I'm thinking that if they had a system where you just had somebody like an engineer on a railroad engine.
And Gallatin Valley was on the national news with your bee story of 1 million bees getting set loose from that truck dumping over, man. That was great. What a great story. You jumped on it first.
Yeah, we're going to have...
Then it went national.
Yeah, we're going to have bees all over the place if you didn't hear about that. 40,000 bees got out.
No, 1 million, they said. 1 million.
Well, I don't know if it was 1 million or not, but anyway. Well, maybe it was 40,000 pounds of bees. I don't know, whatever it was.
That's probably right, yeah.
Something like that. That could have been a lot of bees. All right. Yeah. Let's take a phone call, then we got to take a break. Caller, you on the air. What's going on?
Hey, I just got to say, rather than artificial intelligent cars, we need no contact with Earth cars, whether it's hover car. I mean, something that just doesn't maintain contact with the ground.
Oh, okay. Some flying cars that we were supposed to have when I was in grade school by 2000.
Right. And it's not even so much flying, but just something that hovers.
Hovers, yeah.
Something to that effect, that didn't get too high. Yeah. But, so we could eliminate the roads, potholes, the ice. Snow condition, all that stuff.
You weren't old enough to watch George Jetson. Tom and I were, so we've expected this for 50 years.
I remember the Jetsons there, pal.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I'm almost 50.
Oh, there you go.
All right, you guys be good.
All right, hey, thanks for the call. All right, appreciate it. From our text line, didn't one of those fancy smart cars pin a woman against the back of her garage? Something like that, I think, happened to her. So, I don't know. It's bad.
Well, there's no question there's going to be incidents. And, there is with people driving cars. I mean, you still have 53,000 people a year dying on your highways. So it's not like this isn't an issue. I mean, it is.
Yeah. Oh, no, it will be for, I'm certain, quite a while. So.
We'll see.
Yes, we will. Well, we were talking about Pinterest. We got to take our break here. I'm not watching my time because we got to get some stuff in here, and no Noxatril, so I'm happy about that. So we'll be right back. 22 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock. It is Thursday, June 13th, 2019, 69 degrees outside. Tom Eagle off your morning mayor. Shane and Tom and Half Man, Half Amazing in Vancouver. And welcome to the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. And, well, we were talking a little bit about everything this morning, Shane, I guess. So should probably get over to the 5 things you need to know. And first one, I guess, is that Trump says if he was called by a foreign government with stuff on Biden or Bernie or anybody else, he would probably take the call.
Yeah, well, after listening to Bernie's speech about socialism yesterday, I don't know why they're not looking at him as being a puppeteer of Putin's. Where's that line in the media? Like, how sad is that? I mean, this guy is like, he's right off the rails. The comment about this is, I find interesting, is twofold. Number one, misrepresentation of what Trump said during the debates. What he said to Russia is, if you have the 30,000 emails, give them up.
Yeah.
He didn't ask for them. Mm-hmm. He just said, if you happen to have ended up with them, you should give them to the government.
Yeah.
That's what he suggested.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah.
And then in this interview, political research has been going on for 200 years in your country. I mean, come on. Yeah. So this is nothing new. And, he's so honest and straightforward that it's going to be misrepresented as to what he said and why he said it. So it's just regrettable. Because he did say, I'd look at it, and if I thought there was something wrong there, I'd turn it over to the FBI. Well, there you go. That's it. That's the answer.
I was going to say, there's not much leeway there, but I
mean, where's the story about the Podesta brothers that got $26 million for their lobbying company to lobby against the Russian sanctions that Obama had, and then if the one brother's the head of her campaign. It's as bad as Biden taking $1.5 billion from the Chinese and starting out saying, "Oh, they're not our enemies. These are good people, folks. They're not." And then he reverses himself a week later, going, "Wow, they're really dangerous. We got, come on, guys, pay attention."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we from our Facebook page. We are polled today. When is it too early to start mowing? Mark, who is a compliance officer for the city, city code says you can start at 6 a.m. mowing if you want. So there you are. So if you've been putting it off and you don't care about your neighbors or you hate your neighbors, you can legally, the city will give you their blessing if you want to start at 6 a.m. So go for it. Good deal.
Oh, that's a great response. I love it.
Yeah. Well, Mark would know. He's the city compliance officer, so he's got his finger on the pulse of mowing in the city of Bozeman, and snow removal and everything else that you got to comply with if you're gonna stay in the good graces of Bozeman, Montana. So that was an excellent one there. So. Well, my computer locked up. What's next in the 5 things, Shane?
House panel advances Barr and Ross contempt vote in census citizenship probe.
That's
More
true.
Wasted time by our Congress. Mm-hmm. This is being dealt with now at the Supreme Court. There should be an answer this week or next as to whether this, the question, are you an American citizen, should be on the census. And of course it should be. I mean, come on, let's be honest. What are we talking about? They don't even know how many illegal immigrants are, and that's why they're afraid of it, because then they'd find out.
Well, you could put down, no, I'm not a citizen. I have a green card. I've got a student visa. Yeah. I've got a work permit. Just because you put no doesn't mean that you're not legally in the country.
But it does cover those questions already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but the bottom line is, the census is coming up every 10 years in 2020. We've talked about it.
Yep.
And aside from all the benefits that states get and the change in the House of Representatives because of shifting population, those are important things. But the third thing is to get a handle on, are there 12 million, 20 million, 30 million illegal immigrants in your country? Why wouldn't you want to know?
Well, it isn't that you want to know. The reason they don't want these people counted, or they don't want them counted, or they want them counted but not, the fear of deportation or arrest or whatever.
They're breaking the law.
They want them. Well, they need them for gerrymandering for one, and also for. Just for the popular vote in the various states.
Well, that's the argument, but I'm not sure that that's going to hold, because most of them are conservative Catholic in their beliefs, and we know that from the last election. But anyway, that's where they're at. So, and by the way, they're talking about Ross, who is a Secretary of Commerce, and basically oversees the census. So that's why St. Louis, we called number 3. St. Louis Blues win the Stanley Cup. Yay! I don't like Boston.
Well, we got that one certainly taken care of. Yep.
Hicks reportedly agrees to testify behind closed doors next week. Why, I don't know. She's just a communications director, and she's going to have presidential privilege. So, more waste of time, you know. You go crazy gate all over again. And then
the only reason they want her in there is she's a farmer model and she's hot. That's the only reason they're calling her. They just want to spend some time in the room with a hot babe. That's the only reason.
Now,
there's no reason for her to be there at all, because she had before
you get in trouble.
Before this, she had zero experience in being a communications director. Now she's one at Fox. So, what will that tell you? You don't need any experience at Fox. So, there you are.
Yeah. Number 5, and this is a good one. Pentagon emits more greenhouse gas than some major countries. No kidding. I mean, they got an $800 billion budget. Of course they do. I mean, it's just. But, you know, the fascinating thing is the top 10 countries is China, U.S., India, Russia, and then it falls off, you know, that are the biggest polluters, carbon dioxide. But let us all remember, we announced this last October. The UN did a study on the planetary growth and the deforestation, particularly of the tropics, because of people collecting and cutting down trees for wood. And what they found is the grass is growing.
15 seconds.
They're creating more oxygen than ever before on our planet, so it's problem solved, folks.
All right. Thanks, Shane. All right, we'll be right back with more of the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane following these important words. 24 minutes before the top of the hour, Thursday, June 13th, 2019, 69 degrees outside. Shane Matauban, half man, half amazing. On the line in Vancouver, British Columbia, Tom Eaglehoff, your morning mayor in the house. And welcome to the KMMS Morning Show with Tom and Shane. And our poll question, when is it too early to start mowing? You can vote over at kmmsam.com, or you can also go to our phone at AM 1450 KMMS and vote there right now. Before 9 a.m. is in the lead as how early should you start mowing? Let's go to the phones. We've had a caller patiently waiting. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Hi, I'm calling about our taxes. We just got our appraisal in the mail.
I was going to talk about that this half hour, and you called at the appropriate time. So how bad is it for you?
It went up $80,000.
Your assessment?
Our assessment.
Yeah.
And our taxes went up $646.
Wow.
So it's a 25% increase.
Yep, that's about what we reported the other day. It was going to be around 23% on edge, 23.25 or something like that for residential, and 19 or so for commercial. So yeah, you're not alone. Trust me on that one.
It's truly crazy, and I'm urging everyone to object and to
protest. Go down and
protest and do your paperwork. We did this 2 years ago, and we got it dropped. But I know it's how can your home increase 22%, 25% in just 2 years? Yeah,
I know that's
understanding in that.
Yeah, no, it's tough to. It's tough to figure out. Michelle Wolf here from the Moose just stuck her head in the door earlier and said they increased the. She did a lot of work on her home, but they increased her evaluation $100,000. And so she's hitting a big bill as well as you are. So, but yeah, I would encourage everybody to go down there and because that's ridiculous. It really is. A few $1,000, yeah, maybe, but the numbers you're talking about, I don't think so.
And my sister in Havre, her house increased by $25,000, and I would think that was probably a 20% increase in her home too.
Yeah.
Or maybe,
Well, I know they got some kind of formula they use, and I don't know what that is. But
what they're doing, they're using computer generation market value, and so you can never get ahead of it. I mean, or you're never behind it.
Yeah.
I had a sister working in the revenue department, and this came online during the Bullock administration, and they just threw out everything that we had,
before,
protections,
yeah,
what protections we had, and so that's why he could afford Medicaid and all those great things that the extra expense he brought online. So
got to bring the money in. Yep.
No one's making anybody accountable.
Yeah.
All
well,
right.
I hope you. I hope you will go down and protest that. I hope you're successful, and let us know how it goes.
And I do urge everyone else to do it too, because this is, this is a revolt.
Yep, I agree. No, it's everybody's in the same boat. Every property owner in Bozeman is looking at the same thing you are.
And yeah, it's pretty amazing that we're allowing our government to get out of hand like that.
Yeah. Well, as we say, how long is it before you're tapped out? We had somebody the other day that said, "Hey, they don't think they can retire here. They don't think they can when they get on the fixed income and whatever retirement they plan for. They didn't plan for an increase like this."
Yeah, our house taxes were $1,200 when we built it, and it was about $1,800 about 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's going up to over $3,000.
Wow.
Doesn't make sense.
Well, we appreciate the call. We wish you the best.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you. All right. Let me answer this call, Shane. I got to take a break. You take the call off the line, okay? I haven't answered it yet. I'm going to answer it, okay? Calm down. Now talk. All right. We'll be right back right after these important words. 17 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Thursday, June 13, 2019. 70 degrees outside. Shane Taubman's been entertaining a caller, so let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number if you want to be a part of the big broadcast today. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Good morning, Tom. It's Triple B.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Shane is very entertaining, by the way. He's very entertaining.
Good.
Thank you.
Glad to hear it.
I was just explaining to him, I don't hear anybody calling in and saying, well, talking about how they voted in the last elections or in the city government elections to vote these liberals in that will straight up tell you to your face that they're going to raise your taxes. And I don't personally live in the city. I have family members and friends that do. And everybody's up in arms about it. And yet they vote for the liberals that are telling them they're going to raise their taxes. They raise their taxes and then they complain. Stop voting for that. There's a simple solution to this. Get rid of the liberal government in Bozeman and your taxes won't go up anymore. How hard is that? It doesn't get any simpler. My 12-year-old son can understand that.
All right. Sounds good.
I don't get it.
All right.
That's my comment.
All right, man.
Thanks, Triple D.
Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. All right. Take care. All right. Let's see. Let's take another call. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you're on the Saturday. I haven't said Saturday all week. Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. Go for it.
I assume that's me.
That's you.
Okay. Yeah. My taxes, I live on Gateway in the county.
Mm-hmm.
My taxes went up about 24%.
Yeah.
And I'm pissed off too.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you're not alone. Every property owner that we've talked to has had not just an increase, but a significant increase.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
It is. Yeah.
There's no way that I could get 25% more for this place this year than I did 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the whole thing. And, as I mentioned earlier, we had a caller that said, I grew up here. I'd like to retire here, but I don't think I'm going to be able to retire here. I'm going to have to go someplace else to live.
Yeah, and I agree with, what I want to know is, what are they doing with our money?
Well, that's that's hard to see, isn't it? Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, there's no list anywhere that says we spent this on this.
I think there's a black hole, and it goes into it.
Yeah, well,
it doesn't come out.
Yeah, well,
I
know.
Thanks for that. You guys can comment some more. I'll listen to you.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
Great. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. All right, thanks for the call. Yeah. Oh, let's see. Belgrade 2, ours went up $750. This is from our text line, 478-8298. I did nothing to my home, and it increased $100,000. My 5 acres of bare ground increased $70,000. So, people are. I have a friend whose taxes went up $3,000. Let's see. Yeah, those are the ones at least that we're talking about at the moment with the property tax situation that is going on. And on our website, KMMSAM.com, we did a interview with Jeff Krause about this, who gave us the numbers and everything, that things were going up, and kind of gave us a rundown of a warning of sorts before these things went out. So you can look that up on our website at KMMSAM.com under, I think it's under Tom's blogs over there. So let's take another call. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you are on the air. What's going on?
Hey, gentlemen.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good.
Good. Hey, excuse me. I have a little different twist on this. I kind of came into this late.
Mm-hmm.
But back in the early 80s, I want to say it was about 84, I purchased a home in Bozeman for, I want to say it was about $55,000. And at the time I was making $9.65 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
My wife had a job, made a little bit less, but we qualified. That same home today is worth about $350 to $375.
Right.
And that wage for that job that I was working at is about $16 an hour.
Yeah.
So there's your big discrepancy right there.
Well, it is, yeah. Yeah, well, it's what people are willing to pay. We had a vacant lot here with nothing on it in Bozeman that sold for $300,000. I mean, come on. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Well, we're competing with people that don't rely on Bozeman's economy to make a living.
In some cases, that's very true. Yeah, that they have other sources of income besides income coming from the Bozeman area.
Right, they're not employed here.
Mm-hmm.
They're employed somewhere else, and they just choose to live here.
Yeah,
that numerous people like that.
Yeah,
we're competing with a lot of outside sources to live in this community. Anyways, I just thought that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, the wages have not kept up. That's for sure.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close. All right. Thanks.
Hey, thanks for the call. All right. Appreciate it. For our text line, 478-8298, where do we go to protest? I believe the Department of Revenue's out by Goodwill in Bozeman. I'm not sure where it is in Belgrade. I would suggest you contact the courthouse, and somebody at the courthouse can probably point you in the right direction of where to go to protest. I don't know if the one in Bozeman covers Belgrade or not. I don't know whether it's a county-wide. I think it's a county-wide, so it may be the one in Bozeman, and it's over behind Goodwill, to the north of Goodwill, the back parking lot there. So that would be where I would head if I was gonna go protest. So yeah, it's I don't know. I as I said, I've lived here 26 years, been on the radio most of that time, and I can't remember a time when we've had this kind of a increase in property taxes in this county. And it's pretty significant for a lot of folks that are, you can't just go out and increase your income immediately. We're looking at some people are going to have to take second or third jobs or put the kids to work or do something. So just to pay this thing off.
It's on the Jeff list. How are assessments determined? We'll find out.
All right, we'll try and do that. So I don't know if Jeff's the one because I think it's a county thing. I'm not sure he's the one, but he was the county treasurer for a while, so he could probably find that out. Okay, I've got to take a break here and get the Rush update in. Shane, I'm going to put a caller on hold for you, so we'll be right back. 4 minutes for the top of the hour. It is Thursday, June 13th, 2019, 71 degrees outside. And let's go back to the phones. Caller, you are on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Well, now that I got totally off track with what I was going to say, thanks to Shane.
All right.
And the great conversation.
That's his job. He's supposed to misdirect you.
Well, that's exactly what he's doing. And now, you know what? But I'm not misdirected because I'm following the root system, brother. Okay, so here's what we're doing. We're building you some apartments, okay?
Yeah.
Because we can tear down what was there and raise it up, raise a structure, and then we're going to call them apartments to you.
You're right.
And after about 5 years, or maybe 8 or 10, I'm going to get my investment back. I'm going to turn around because I've already built them to be separate, like condominiums. I'm going to sell them to you because I've already made my money back plus some.
Yep.
I'm going to start selling them as condo minimums.
Yeah.
Because I got the con, I got minimum.
You got minimums.
And you're paying for the condo minimums.
All right.
That's what's going to go on. And those kids that you found in the building, they're probably the same kind of that burnt down the Soapbox.
They'll be out of jail just in time to rent those condominiums.
Right.
Or move in.
Okay, but they're smart. They're going in rent-free then.
There you are. Hey, thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it. All right. Let's see, from our text line, sad to say that the beautiful Gallatin Valley is no longer affordable for native Montana people. Amen to that. Yep. That is sad. Let's see, time for a Proposition 13 here in Montana. A signed text, by the way, Shane. Thanks for signing the text. We're asking people to, if you're going to put your mouth or your money where your mouth is, then sign your text. And I'm not going to give the names out, but it was a signed text, so we appreciate that text from that listener. Let's see. Property taxes also affect renters. No kidding. When my rent doubled in 5 years, my landlord explained that that it had to do with keep up with the taxes. Yeah, the taxes on the property. You got to pass that on to the renter. That's the way it works. And from our, we were talking a little bit about the opposition research. Opposition research for free, bad. Paying someone to make up lies, okay.
Yeah.
Hypocrites logic. So there you are. So that's okay. Yeah. Why not? So
good response. Good response.
All right. That takes care of our text line, and we're pretty much out of time here, Shane. So
we are.
We gotta bail out of here and say goodbye to everybody, and we will. What?
Goodbye, Mayor, and looking forward to Friday because it's the last day of the week. And as always, everybody be happy, be safe.
There you go. All right. Thanks, Shane. And let's see. This property tax thing is not going to end anytime soon, I don't think. So as the one caller said, it's time to mobilize, go down en masse and protest, get the paperwork you need to do to protest these things. And let's see if we can affect change. That's the only way change happens. We all have to get together and decide we're going to do it. So that's our issue. So we appreciate it. All right, thanks for listening, everyone. We really appreciate your support of the show. We are up to 936 downloads of our shows, and we really appreciate that support that you folks are giving us, and that you apparently like what we're doing enough to download it and listen to it. So we have to go, and we will see everybody bright and early tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. So have a great Thursday, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.